helper, Austin. We're ready. I sent him a text last night to say, hey, give me a hand saw cutting. And he didn't get it, so we had to wake him up this morning. And he agreed to come out without... You didn't argue, right? No. Okay, good. So this was a no film day when we poured this driveway. So I'll go over what we did here. I'll go over a mistake that was made and then corrected. And then we're gonna take care of some saw cutting.
It looks like it's already saw cut.
Well, we have to head around back to the patio. Our pet machine's in our way. Let's just see what happens here. Think we can make it?
Just don't slide. Because I'm jumping out.
We don't want to go down there.
Make sure you put it in park.
I'll get closer.
To the thing?
Yeah, over there. So this will be our next project over here.
Alright, Pat.
You good?
Yeah.
Is that steep?
Yeah, it's
You know how to swim?
Well,
You're a good swimmer.
I think at that point we'd be dead.
Alrighty. Okay, let's head back to the patio. Okay, so we poured this patio yesterday, and we have hundreds of videos on pouring concrete. What we only have a couple of videos of are saw cutting, and why we saw cut, why we target what we do. We know it wants to crack off of this corner, so we put a control cut through here. That'll get us through the night. Now it's cooler out. Chances are we didn't have to do that. That just lets me sleep a little bit better at night. But we know in a year there'll be a hairline crack right down the center here. Wintertime, this needs to heave a little bit. And if it can't move because of the post, because of the stone, it'll crack in the middle. So we always put a saw cut right there, and we never get a phone call on that. Never. Another good place that it wants to crack is around these posts. When concrete's wet, it's the biggest, so it always wants to shrink to the center. And if the post won't let it shrink to the center, now all the stress is right here. Do you know about compression strength and tensile strength? Concrete's real strong when it comes to compression, like pushing on it. Like it takes 4,000 pounds of pressure in 1 square inch to crush this concrete when it's cured.
2 tons?
Huh?
2 tons?
2 tons, right. So tensile strength is how strong is it when you pull it. And concrete's very weak when it comes to that. So that's why we add reinforcement, steel rebar, wire mesh, fiber mesh, and fiberglass rebar, which we don't use very often. So with that being said, that's why we put our cuts in here. So we went over this way. How about this way? It still wants to shrink, so it can't pull all this concrete over, so it'll fracture right in the middle. So if we put a saw cut probably right off of this post center, now the concrete will shrink this way, and that way hairline crack will, the saw cut gives it a weak area, and so we're telling it it's okay to go ahead and crack there, if that makes sense. All right, let's get going and we'll go grab some breakfast.
So like my pap said, we went right down the center. We did another cut right next to it so it doesn't make it like long on the sides. And then down here we followed the posts because we already had a cut right there. So we did that on both. And then over here, this one's a bit longer, so we just cut in half with 7 feet and 1 inch. So yeah, that was basically the cut path. We also did another one right up here to separate so it would look more even.
Okay, there's the saw cuts all done. Made it nice. Austin was blowing that dust away from us so we didn't have to breathe it. I'm not sure how it looks in the video. I'll have to look at that, but depending on how the wind's blowing, sometimes the leaf blower helps, sometimes it hurts. So with him blowing it away, I didn't have to breathe all the dust. I got an overlap here, so we'll take a look at that whenever I come back, and I might do a little touch-up repair on that, setting the saw down in there. All right, let's head up top and we'll go over the driveway. Okay, we just got the front cleaned up and sealed. It was a little bit too wet last night when we were here. Here's our center cuts and why. Give us good corner crack protection. Driveway rolled up in here real nice. It's nice to finally get one that's fairly level, and yet I still managed to mess it up. This was 28 feet out here to this point, and of course that should have been 28. Whenever I was measuring it, a little bit older tape measure, it wouldn't pull out, so I came up with 20 feet, put a mark in the board, and then I came over and marked 8 feet, so I thought. So there must have been another mark there that I pulled off of, or I marked 9 feet. I'm not sure what happened, but we had the form in 28 to 29 out here, and I never caught it. Nobody ever caught it until we started doing our cut layout, and they just looked. Once we put this cut in, now you could really see that it was out of square in this corner. So started pulling tape measures, looking at what's going on. So I'm like, well, what do? Do I leave it? And I thought, well, the property line is in here somewhere. I don't know how close we are. If they do a survey and we're over the drive, then it just turns into, oh my gosh, what do? Do we tear out a pad? So no. We got shovels, dug this out, moved the form in, made it that way. No phone calls needed. Yesterday, hey, is it okay if we're out of square? I would hate to make that phone call. So, just would have been funnier on camera. I figured I'd talk about it, what happened, what we went through whenever the camera was turned off. We got it corrected, and everybody is happy. We are going to seal one little project, and then we're grabbing some hot chocolate. Okay, here we are. Good morning. Getting ready to pour this exterior. I'm just gonna have to put you on time lapse and let the sun come up, and I'll show you what we're doing. Getting all the tools out. Yeah, these dark mornings make it real hard to video, so bear with me. Talk to you in a little bit. Okay, it's getting light enough out. Clamping our expansion joint in place. Nice and straight. I'm going to set you up here. You can watch it from up above. Now in the full mix, look at the steam coming out of there. Warm water in the concrete today. It is quite chilly out. That is what we're pouring. Driveway, front block, and street block. Let's go, we got a lot to do. Okay, truck 1 is on cleanup. Truck 2 is mixed. The guys are pouring. 20 yards, 4.5 feet short of that sidewalk. So we'll catch the end of that when we're doing driveway. We came up short. We've been in worse shape. All right, we're on cleanup. I'm getting on edges. All right, joint layout. Right through here, we'll do an expansion joint. We cut them in half, jam them in about every 10 feet. Ready to go. Okay, so what we're doing now, we're taking a break from the driveway. We're gonna pour the street walk. I got 6 yards here, not coming, here. We need to cut this tree down. It's a gorgeous tree though. The leaves are killing us. A couple leaf blowers going, pushing them, brooming, you saw that. So that's what we're looking for. Steve just has to do this. They're touching. Excuse me. They're touching up there. So the reason I'm going to the street walk now the driveway can harden up, and then we can maybe sock our edge marking in on number 2 pad. That's the plan. Here we go. This was borderline too wet. If it wasn't street walk, if it was something really important, if that makes any sense, I think I would have sent it back. Super wet. The wetter you pour concrete, the weaker it is. That's why it's so important to keep it at about a 6-inch lump. This is a 10, a 9. This is a 9. So Steve will give it a quick bull float and we'll just let it set, tighten up. It's cold out. We have hot water in the truck and we have calcium chloride in the mix. So it's not going to lay here long, but nevertheless, we didn't want it that wet. Let's see what happens here. I think that's tighter up there. I just shook it out. Let me get one more done and see. It's getting better. Low and flat. Slow, slow, slow.
There you go.
Let me jump up there.
Going up there?
Yeah. Bounce around, find where it's ready. Right there, that's the spot. Now that I have a minute, I talked about this earlier. We have to put expansion joint between the driveway and apron, but we don't want it to move apart. So we run our wire and rebar underneath it, and we pound in a half a piece. Leak? I don't know. Did we ever get a call back on that? Never. One or two. And now let's just clean that up. It is that easy. All right, 2 cuts, some leaf blowing. We'll be back at it. Make sure they line up real nice so your edger goes past. Well, the final mixer's leaving. Everybody gets on cleanup. By the time he gets out of here, we are just about cleaned up. Traction mats are loaded, one buggy loaded, one buggy finishing up in the cleaning station. Boy, look at that sky today. Gorgeous. All right, we got all of our finished tools stockpiled down here. Everything's in its spot. That's their spoils. They have to get out of here, so we just wash up right beside it. Now they can half a scoop with the machine, and it disappears. All right, grab a drink of water. We'll be finishing that. It is
nice, huh?
1 o'clock. Say again?
Came together nice.
Yeah. Hey, 3 weeks ago we would have been done by now, huh?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, they slowed us down the whole corner.
Yeah. The cold mornings, the concrete just lays here. 3 weeks ago, it was 85 degrees out, 20 yards. We'd have another 10 coming right down the line. That's how it goes. Okay, there we go as I make my exit. SRT on everything. You can see how quick it dries. It goes on like a milky white, so you can see good coverage. And then when it's dry, crystal clear. Alright, I'm the last one out of here. What a fun project. It's hard to video these this time of year. Well, any time of year. But you get such a late start. It's so dark until 7:30 now. And then concrete's on the ground, we're busy, so I don't have time to talk then. So I always feel like I'm behind on the video. So I kind of look at these videos, I'm just showing you what we've been up to. So maybe I'll take you with me. I have a driveway repair to make and then a sealing. I'll show you how I do that. Maybe it'll make up for all the time lapse today. Okay, here we are. This was my pride and joy last year. We worked so hard on this thing. So we came back over here to seal it. We're going to put a winter protective coat on it. I have a handful of little pop marks on it right here. Boom, boom, boom. I'm going to go ahead and get those repaired. I used this product before and it seems to work pretty good. And it's real simple to use. So I'll get this area repaired. You can see how big this area is. You know, a dozen here and a couple more up here. So I'm going to get that repaired. Ryan's going to get busy just leaf blowing a little bit, clean these joints out. It's pretty clean, and we're going to get this thing sealed up here. Doesn't that look nice? I did a complete video on this thing and my hard drive crashed. We lost all the footage. Yeah. All right. Okay, so that's the area right there. Yeah, I agree. So this product, nothing else works better, as good as like a nice thin rubber glove. Nice color match. And that's why I like this product. It's got bonding agents in it, and the color match on it is really good.
Let me know when you want me to start that.
Yeah, go ahead. You can go. Yep. The deeper the pock mark, just do it in. These are real shallow, so I can do them in 1 or 2 lifts. And it dries instantly. So with the base coat on there, and I rub it in the direction of the broom mark. Okay, as we're sealing, here's a pro tip. Full gallon of sealer. Notice how Ryan puts the spout at the top of the can and starts to pour. Get it about halfway empty and flip the can over. Alright, we'll be out of here shortly. Okay, there it is, 2 coats. I wanted to video this so you can see how heavy I put it on. Look in that joint. You want that to be fully saturated with material. It's drying real blotchy, and when this stuff dries, it'll go back to its original look. Alright, what a fun project to be a part of. I feel bad about the repairs, but let all that dry, and it really is a nice color match. I forgot to show the product we're using here. I always like to just throw that on there. Aqua Seal Plus from Carol's Supply. Alright, give them a call if you need it. That's about it for today. I'll see you guys in the morning. Don't be late.